and how it's been so badly abused in the latter stages of what I call history's largest, most destructive fiat Ponzi scheme, because this is, for the first time, global. There's no country that's had any backing of their currency by anything for 40 plus years now. And particularly after the financial crisis in 2008, when, the way I look at it, that around the turn of the century, that fiat system, that fraudulent fiat system peaked, and then in 2008, it permanently broke. And since then, we've seen Humpty Dumpty's fallen off his wall, and the central bankers are doing their best to hold the pieces together so it looks like things are okay by printing more money and manipulating markets. But the fact is, throughout this 15-year period, I've watched the fiat system's demise accelerate. The problem is that the price of gold has been managed for, decades, centuries actually, and it's more deleterious than ever, the way they hold it down with paper markets and a fractional reserve system. So there's really been no real way to protect your wealth from fiat currency other than to invest in these historically overvalued markets that the powers that be have created with their financial terror weapons of mass destruction technology. And then Bitcoin came along, and I actually was intrigued by it. As early as 2013, I actually had one Bitcoin on Mt. Gox, simply because I didn't understand it. I wasn't exactly behind it, but I certainly was intrigued by the concept of it. And all the while watching precious metals just suppressed into oblivion. And then sometime around the end of 2015, I had been watching passively Bitcoin for a few years, and I said, you know what? It looks like this thing is for real. And I started investing in it. And even though I've been for the last 6 years, up until the last 2 months, the marketing director of one of the largest bullion firms, I started writing actively about Bitcoin in April of 2016, in not so couched terms of how I believed it was going to be a major monetary player going forward. And as the past 2 years have passed, as I call them, double dog years in the Bitcoin world, it's graduated to the level where it's money now. It's indisputably money. It's a $100 billion market cap. The network is stable. And, after we get by this silly 2x fork in a couple of weeks, I think that will be permanently done with any belief that the immutability of the Bitcoin network is going to be compromised. So I'm 100% on board right now. It's by far my biggest position. My new website I started 2 months ago, CryptoGoldCentral.com. You could see the moniker on my screen and behind me.